RAZA here for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. This isn't normal. This is very unusual, but it's got to be done with me on Zoom, live and direct. JB, Just Business, Joshua Buatsi. What's going on, champ?
I'm good, man. Not too bad, man. Good to catch up with you yesterday, briefly before the interview started as well. But I'm good. As you know, man, isolation. What can we say about it? But I'm here, man. I hope you're keeping well as well, my brother.
There's a lot going on in the world at the moment, hence why we're speaking over video.
Yeah.
What have you made with this whole virus situation at the moment?
In terms of do I think it's true? The conspiracies.
No, I don't
There's
think
so many things about it, but
I don't think you want to go.
There's so many things about it, but if you're asking what I've made of it, I've never stayed home like this. That's what I've made of. I've never ever stayed home like this. I don't sleep a lot. I've never slept like I've slept during this period as well. I look forward to running more than anything because it's like you've got that 1 hour window gap. So it's how you're using it, what you're gonna do, whether you're gonna walk. I've been on a walk, bro. I never ever go on walks. So there's a lot of new things that I'm doing that I wouldn't usually do, but because of this thing, I'm applying myself. So I'm trying to get by.
What did you make a couple of weeks ago? I think people from society were running to the shop, emptying the stocks. Tesco, Asda, all your local shops were just empty. Toilet paper is like gold dust right now. What did you make of do you think people were overreacting by doing all of that?
You can say overreacting, but then it's like no one knew what was going to happen or how things were going to present themselves. But I think the main things the supermarket said was that, listen, everyone chill out. There's enough for everyone. Even all the supermarkets came together to say, look, there's food for everyone. Everyone's going to eat, so chill out. So I think those that kind of stopped up early, it just means that they don't have to do more trips to the shop, which you can say is a good move. Do you know what I mean? But if I go to the shops and get something very important, I'll do it. If not, thankfully everything's sorted out at home, so I don't need to make often trips to the shop and that.
Do you think people are listening to the instructions? You're obviously seeing there's these restrictions, 2 meter gaps, don't go to work unless you really, really have to, unless you're key workers. But we obviously seen images of people on the train, squashed together, standing next to each other. Do you think people are actually taking it serious on the other hand?
Yeah, no, I think so, man, because I think you're hearing that people are dying from it. First they said only the old, those that are very, very old will suffer from it, and then you're hearing cases where it's actually the average Joe is dying from it. Do you know what I mean? People have got no illness history or anything, they're dying from it. So it looks like it can kill anyone. So I think people are being more attentive, and I think people are that's what I think, and is that people are kind of following instructions a bit more. I myself, I would say 100, I'm like, right, this is as serious as they're saying. So I think I'll say it like this year, they said, the government said everyone stay at home. This is dangerous. And for sports people and boxers and many of us, we were like, cool, I hear you, champ. And then when the British Board of Boxing said, actually, all boxing shows are cancelled because of this virus, then all the athletes and boxers are like, right, this must be serious, because the British Board is saying that our sport is being cancelled and everything. So for me, once they said it, I was like, yeah, this is 100, but we got to chill out. We got to be safe. We got to make sure we're following instructions and everything. But I'm coping, man. I'm sure a lot of us are coping. How are you finding it? Let me ask you that.
I think
Why have you frozen?
No,
tell me.
It's definitely strange because, as you know, working in the media, we normally travel a lot. We're on the trains, we're in our cars, we're up and down,
out there,
covering press conferences, events, press conferences where you're only told the day before, boxing shows, when it's fight week, you got public workout, press conferences, weigh-in, fight night. And when you're just sitting at home and you're like, damn, there's actually nothing really to do. We can't go and see fighters, I know some fighters have actually said, come and see me, but I'd rather not go and see them because you probably get the backlash of why you're breaking the
Hey,
rules.
2 meter gap, bro. Two
Exactly.
meter gap.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
I think the isolation perspective of it is strange because we're so used to being out and about. Um, but you do get fed up with just sitting at home, I have to say.
yeah, for real. For real. It's hard, but I think just getting out, man, that 1 hour thing helps, man. Whether you're gonna walk, whether you're gonna run, jog, whatever it is, man. For me, that's helped a lot. And just doing different things, like I said, man, doing things you don't usually do or may not have the time to do. And mine is going to be reading. I need to start reading. I'm saying it on here now, so it means I really, really need to set pace and start reading. So yeah, reading for me is something I have to start doing.
I know you're probably regarded as rivals in the ring, but obviously it was announced
Mm,
towards the weekend. Obviously Anthony Yard, um, whose unfortunately father passed away because of the virus, and
yeah, man.
I know Anthony quite well, and he's a very private guy. And his Instagram story was very simple, and he said, "I am a private guy, but the reason I'm putting this out there is because my father was fit and healthy, and it's a reminder to you guys: you need to stay at home."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was just chilling, and I had a message, and it was just a link. Um, and it was to a news article, but I didn't click straight away. I didn't click on it, and then the person said to me, "Oh, Yard's father just passed away," and I was like, "Oh, what kind of joke is this?" Like, are you saying that to me? And they're like, "Check his Insta story now, bro." So I checked it, and then I saw it, and I was like, "That's deep, man." Like, I don't know Yard like that or his dad to say, but I'm like, that's sad, no matter who it is. But it's now someone in London that I don't know directly, but I'm like, right, like his dad died because of that. Do you know what I mean? So I even had to DM him to be like, bro, my thoughts are with you and your family. Um, you know, I hope you don't get through this because you're hearing other people are dying, and then for your own dad to pass away from it, being fit and healthy and everything, it's mind blowing. So I said to him, bro, you know, like keep strong for yourself and the family as well, man. So my thoughts are with him, and his family and everyone around him, man.
Yeah, well said. Our thoughts do go to Anthony and his family. Um,
Yeah, man.
Josh, you know, from a fighter perspective, you guys are so used to being in camp and isolating yourself
Mm.
in camp. This is different type of isolation because you don't really have a fight day or even know when you're going to fight next. Is it mentally draining?
Oh, bro, my phone's on do not disturb. And my sister just rang. Sorry,
It's okay.
um, but 100% it is in the sense that if I'm in camp, the isolation is cool. I can work with it because I know that after 10 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever, we're gonna fight. That's cool. That's one thing. But to not know when you're next gonna fight, I think for me, do you know what the hardest thing is? Not knowing when to peak. So you don't know when to be putting your foot on the gas, but not putting your foot on the gas because you can't put your foot on the gas from now and keep going because you don't know how long it's gonna last for. And the thing about me is that I was meant to box Saturday just gone, so I've kind of come to the end of a camp, and then it's like, okay, cool, you didn't fight, so it's like, how do I train now? You know, I'm gonna have to take over. I can't be going all out because I've been in camp for about 10 weeks. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite hard to not know, like you said, to not have a date. Doing camp is cool long as you've got a date, but if you don't have a date, it's hard in the sense of you don't know how to peak. So you're just gonna have to take over. And taking over is one thing. You know, it's cool. It's quite straightforward, but you want to spar, you want to have them hard sessions, but it's like you don't know when you're next fighting. So yeah, it's a bit of a hit and miss one, if you ask me.
What about from a financial perspective? Fighters don't get paid if they don't fight. It's as simple as that.
And certainly, yeah. And with the finances, I feel it's just about, have you been smart with your money? Sorry, my hands are the way. It just means, have you been smart with your money? Um, for me, I think trying to keep my expenditure how it's been from when I started to now, it's changed a little bit, but I can't say it's changed too much. So I think even the thing is, when you're in camp, you save a lot of money, bro. when I'm in campaigners, I save a lot of money because what I'm doing is gym, home, gym, home, gym, home. There's no, oh, there's a big event we need to go to. There's this, there's that. No, that doesn't happen. So actually, my expenses during camp is very, very low. So for the last 10 weeks, like I said, the expenditure hasn't been that mad. But yeah, as fighters, if we don't fight, we don't get paid. But this is an opportunity to thank all the sponsors that are kind of supporting athletes like myself, because of stuff like that, when things like this happen, we can get through it. So again, to take the opportunity to bring up all the sponsors that support athletes, that financially support anyone, man, we appreciate it. And at a time like this, it's very, very helpful, and we're grateful for it.
Obviously, the Olympics was cancelled, which was supposed to take place this year. Wimbledon tennis has also been cancelled. So there's no real knowing of when boxing is going to resume. And Eddie's spoken to IFL about potentially doing fights behind closed doors in like studios, which would obviously mean no fans. If you had no choice, is that something you would do? And how would you feel about fighting in front of basically nobody?
It will be totally different, but I think it's something that a lot of boxers have experienced before. Boxing at all kinds of levels, I think there's been points where there's hardly anyone, even at international level, when you travel to different countries. Not boxing is not like a key sport in some of the countries. So yeah, you go there and the crowd is actually the team members, and the other person's team members. So yeah, that I've experienced before, but I think if Eddie did propose to do a fight behind closed doors for me, before this whole thing got cancelled, I was like, cool, I'm still down. Because at this point, I haven't boxed, I think, for about 8 months. So I was like, cool, I want to get out there. I need to get out there. So if it's behind closed doors, cool, it's still going to be a good opponent, someone that I don't know. He don't know me, small gloves, and we fight. So, for me, being inactive for about 8 months, I was like, yeah, I want to do it. So, yeah, if that's proposed, for me personally, I'll do it. At this point right now, I'll do it, yeah. But when I say at this point, I don't mean at this present time. I think when things get better, if that's kind of like the first kind of way to kind of introduce the sport back in, then yeah, I'll do it. Because like I said, I've been boxed for about 8 months, so I do want to like get out there.
I believe you've been pro now, 3 years now, 12 fights, 12 wins. In a time like this, do you reflect back now and look at those 3 years and say, okay, I'm happy with this, I'm not happy with this, I should have fought more, or I should have fought a different style, or is it still a learning curve for you?
I think firstly, I would say I'm still learning. Getting up to 3 years, yeah. I think the only thing I wanted to do last year was to box 4 times. But I think I was ill at the end of, I was meant to box November the 2nd, and I was ill 3 weeks before the fight. So the doctor said to pull out. So I think for me, that's the only disappointment that I had. Like, I wanted to get a full fight in. So I said, cool, I've missed that. The first show of the year, March, let's get straight in. And obviously, that's what I was preparing for till this whole thing happened. So looking back, I can't say anything, man. I've had 12. I've been, fortunate enough to win all 12. Fights that I should have won. I always say that these are fights that I'm expected to win. But you still have to be thankful, man, because the fights that you're expected to win, sometimes people go and they end up losing it. So, and I'm talking even earlier in a career like this, do you know what I mean? People end up losing certain fights. So I'm grateful to have had to sack. Yeah, I had 12. I won 12. Won a version of the WBA. Managed to get the British title as well. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
What would you say now is a plan for you? Where's the goal? You've got Bertaviev, you've got Bivol. There was talks about you and Bivol getting in the ring. You've got Anthony Yard in the UK. What does Joshua Buatsi want to do, and how quick does he want to get to those boys, those world champions?
I think for me, it's European level next. I won the British title, and I always say to people, when you have the British title, you're kind of saying, anyone in Britain in your division, you can get it on, because you're saying that you're British champ. I've vacated the belt, and I think Richards was going to fight Shaq, but that's not happening anymore. Shaq's fighting this other guy. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Sugjid. He's like the ex-kickboxer.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. but he's meant to fight him for it, and that'll be a good fight. But yeah, I think for me it's to box at European level. You know, I feel I'm kind of going in that order. But that's my plans. But see what my trainer says, see what the management says, see what Eddie says, and they'll kind of make the next move for me. But as long as I'm 100% and I get in the shape that I need to get into, then I'm ready to fight, man.
Josh, you always said your management team. Obviously, we know you're part of 258 management with which is obviously Anthony Joshua's kind of brand. Obviously, last year he took his first L professionally, lost to Andy Ruiz. And I know at the time we spoke, and you were obviously quite disappointed and gutted that he lost. But just from that loss, did you learn anything?
Yeah, man. One thing that stood out to me was I didn't once hear Josh make an excuse. Like, this is even when I spoke to him. Like, he says he didn't make an excuse or anything. He said in front of everyone, Ruiz was the better man of the night. He fought well, he won, period. Put his head down, got back to camp, grafted for weeks. I remember, he probably might not remember this. I remember seeing him in camp and he was like, yeah, I'm sparring. And I was thinking, bro, you're sparring already. Your fight is not till December. I'm like, bro, I'm talking, this was weeks out of December. And I was thinking, like, this is mad early for him to be sparring. And I was like, how many you doing? He goes, I'm doing 12 today. I think you're doing 12 already. Bro, he was weeks out of camp. But then put their head down and graft to then go back and to do it. So definitely lesson learned for me, man.
Obviously, he went back and reclaimed those belts. We saw Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. You talk about how Anthony Joshua showed himself as a man and didn't make excuses. We also saw Deontay Wilder, and later on, a couple of days later, he obviously said that the suit was quite heavy for him, and that had paid an effect. What was the reaction when you saw that, or heard that rather?
That the suit was the reason. I just think that I've never put it on, so I can't really, you know what I'm saying? As a spectator, I watched it, I saw it, but I didn't put it on, so I don't know how heavy it is. But I mean, I think that every fighter kind of, not that you put on your kit before, but yeah, actually, when I do get it in the hotel, I put it on, I'm like, cool, what do you lot think? Does it look good? X, Y, and Z, then I'll take off them, we bounce, we go to the venue to fight or whatever. So I think he definitely put on before. And as a fighter, man, if you put it on and it doesn't feel right, or if it feels a little bit heavy, you panic. Like, you make sure that doesn't happen. And even when your kit's being designed, it's almost something you don't talk about with your designer, as in, don't make it heavy. You don't want your shorts to be heavy. Who wants that? You know what I mean? So I think it's something that we should have dealt with before, man, before the whole fight and before everything happened. But like I said, I've never put on the suit. I don't know how heavy it is, but being a fighter myself, I would just say that if I were going into a ring with something like that, I would have tried on before. And if I felt the slightest that it was heavy, then I'd be like, cool it off, just get something thin to wear. But boy, it is what it is, man. You're laughing, but yeah, like, I haven't put it on before, so say nothing.
So you obviously know boxing is dominated a lot by money. We know that money is important. Money is a key factor. There's talks now that potentially, if Joshua Fury were to fight, that fight, it's impossible for that fight to happen in the UK. And it will have to go somewhere like Saudi Arabia, where they're probably going to earn 3 times the amount. From a fighter perspective, when you look at money, I mean, let me put some random figures. So in the UK, they're saying around 40 million, and in Saudi, you're looking at about 150 million. So as a fighter, do you say that's a lot of money to say no to, or do you stay here and please the fans for a lot less?
Yeah, I think as a fighter, you're gonna have to look at yourself and in your situation, and I think I think a fighter can be so rich, but they'll sit down and think, actually, fight the same person in location A or B. If B means more money, not times 1 or times 2, but times 3, 4, 5, come on, you're gonna end up in location B, man. So I think we can go back and forth and we can chat about it, but anyone put in that position, if they're like, listen, fight this guy for £10 in location 1 or A, but fight him for £1,000 in location 2, you're gonna think, bro, £10 to £1,000. You're gonna go where the grand is. So I think that for me, that's straightforward, man. It's straightforward.
So if the opportunity came, you would go out to a place like Saudi Arabia to fight?
Yeah, I don't know who I'm fighting in my next fight, and how much I'm being paid, but if they randomly jumped up and said, yeah, Saudi, we want Buatsi to fight here for the same guy he was gonna fight, but we're offering ×5.
You're
That's my
running
passport.
there.
I was gonna show my passport. I was gonna show my passport, but it's all the way down there, bro. I'm gone. I'm gone. Yeah, I'm gone, man. Most people would do it. If I'm honest with you, like people are gonna try and fish around it, but let's be real, man. Let's be real. And I think even outside boxing, let's talk about, like, say people that are into businesses and everything. If an opportunity comes that is ×5, and it's a one-off movement to earn ×5 of what you think you're capable of doing, you would take it. Like, we're not saying go and base yourself in a different country or anything, but if they're like, cool, for a one-off deal with us, if you do in a different country, we're going to pay ×5. Business-minded people would, that's the better move. It's a one-off move. Do your thing, get ×5, go back home.
Oh, yeah, good answer. But I do agree with
Yeah,
you.
man.
I have to agree with you, because as much as it's easy for fans and people behind the scenes who don't fight to say, you should stay here for the fans, but everyone put in that position, when you times it by 5 and times, if it was 5 million or 6 million, fine.
Bro.
But when you're talking 100 million,
Bro, come on. Yeah.
you're not going to sway.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you're right. For the fans, it's like, yeah, nah, man, it should happen in England. The 2 British fighters and all that stuff, and it's true. But put those fans in the same position as the fighters are in, they would be like, yeah, see you later, mate. See you in Saudi. They'll be gone, like, straight up. They'll be gone.
Josh, just final few words. What advice do you have for the fans, for the British public out there through this isolation period? Any words of wisdom?
Just to stay patient with everything. No one knows what's happening, what the next move is, but stay patient, stay safe, stay in unless is very, very important. And yeah, that's it, man. That's all we can do, to just kind of follow instructions in terms of what we're being given. People should already be, clean and everything, but we need to up it into the next level. So washing the hands, all that stuff, we should be doing it regardless, but do it more if you can.
Joshua Buatsi, it's always a pleasure having you on. Always pleasure speaking
Respect,
to you.
man. For sure, bro.
Wish you nothing but obviously yourself and your family to be safe and well at all times.
For sure.
And we'll definitely catch up with you very, very soon.
My bro, thank you very much. Wishing yourself and your family, your extended ones, everyone around you, everyone related to you, associated to you, nothing but safety, man. Big up.
Appreciate that. Joshua Buatsi for IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro. Say.